Are you a student struggling to make ends meet, wondering if you'll ever break free from living paycheck to paycheck? I've been there too, juggling tuition, rent, and barely enough for food. That's why today I'm breaking down from broke to billionaire mindset, the student's fast track to wealth in 2025. In this video, you'll learn the exact mindset shifts, strategies, and steps that can take you from financial struggle to building lasting wealth faster than you think. Most students struggle because they think wealth comes only from earning a high salary after graduation. The problem is a mindset trapped in scarcity, the belief that money is something you get only after you finish school and land a good job. This mindset keeps students focused on short-term survival rather than building a foundation for long-term wealth. They study hard, work part-time, and often live paycheck to paycheck, believing that financial success will come later. Unfortunately, by the time they graduate, they are often burdened with debt, no clear financial plan, and a lack of understanding about how money truly works. This creates a cycle where they work harder for money, but never make money work for them. The solution starts with shifting your mindset early, adopting what I call the billionaire mindset. This isn't about having $1 billion in the bank today. It's about thinking and acting in a way that positions you for wealth growth over the long term. A billionaire mindset focuses on creating value, thinking strategically, and investing in assets rather than liabilities. For students, this means learning financial literacy, seeing opportunities, and making decisions based on long-term impact rather than instant gratification. One powerful example is how Warren Buffett started investing while still a student. He bought his first stocks at the age of 11 and understood the value of compound growth decades before most people. He didn't rely on just earning a paycheck, he made his money work for him. This principle can be applied by students today, even with limited funds. For instance, instead of spending spare cash on unnecessary items, a student can start a small investment portfolio with fractional shares, invest in a low-cost index fund, or even start a side hustle that grows over time. The key is to train your brain to think like an investor, not a consumer. Another example is how some students turn their skills into scalable income streams. Instead of just working part-time for fixed wages, they leverage their knowledge, whether it's graphic design, content creation, tutoring, or coding, to build online businesses that generate recurring income. This approach reflects the billionaire mindset because it focuses on creating systems that earn money with minimal active effort over time. It also changes how you view time and effort. With a scarcity mindset, time is spent trading hours for dollars. With a billionaire mindset, you invest time into skills and systems that multiply returns for years to come. This shift doesn't happen overnight. It requires consistent learning, discipline, and the courage to think differently from the crowd. For students, the challenge is balancing studies with building a financial foundation, but the reward is gaining a head start in life. When you adopt the billionaire mindset early, you don't wait for the perfect job or a perfect timing. You start creating opportunities now, making small choices today that lead to big results tomorrow. It's not just about saving money. It's about developing a way of thinking that transforms how you approach earning, spending, and investing for life. Many students underestimate the power of financial education. The problem is that the traditional education system teaches very little about money, how to earn it, save it, invest it, or grow it. Most students graduate with degrees but no real understanding of how to build wealth. They may know formulas and theories in their major, but when it comes to managing personal finance, they feel unprepared and overwhelmed. This lack of financial literacy leads to poor decisions such as overspending, accumulating debt, and missing opportunities for early investment. The solution lies in prioritizing financial education now, rather than waiting until later in life. Financial literacy is not just reading about stocks or bonds, it's developing the ability to make informed decisions about money every day. For students, this can mean taking personal finance courses, following credible finance creators, reading books on wealth building, and applying the knowledge immediately. One example is the case of a student named Sarah who, while studying business, decided to take an online course on investing. She used her summer break to apply what she learned by creating a small investment account. Instead of spending her summer job earnings on lifestyle expenses, she invested a portion into index funds and dividend stocks. Over time, this decision grew into a passive income stream and gave her confidence to make bigger financial moves after graduation. The key lesson is that financial education is a tool that compounds over time. Just like compound interest multiplies your money, compound knowledge multiplies your financial opportunities. Another example is how some students build knowledge networks. They attend finance seminars, join investing clubs, or connect with mentors who can guide them. This creates access to opportunities that they wouldn't have otherwise. For instance, a student who learns about cryptocurrency or stock markets early can start small, experiment, and gain practical experience without risking their entire savings. This kind of early experimentation builds skills that pay off massively later. The billionaire mindset embraces continuous learning. Financial education should be a lifelong pursuit, not just a subject studied for a semester. For students, developing this habit early is a huge advantage because they have time on their side. They can learn, make mistakes, adjust, and grow before their financial responsibilities become heavier. A great example is Elon Musk, who spent years learning about engineering, physics, and business before building companies worth billions. His success started with relentless learning and curiosity. Students can replicate this mindset by actively seeking knowledge outside the classroom, applying what they learn and refining their approach. This transforms them from passive consumers of information to active creators of wealth. The challenge is that financial education requires discipline. It's easy to get distracted by social life, studies, or short-term desires. But students who prioritize learning about money understand they're investing in themselves. The benefits compound over years, just like financial investments. This shift from ignoring financial education to actively pursuing it is a critical step in moving from broke to billionaire mindset, because knowledge becomes the foundation on which all other wealth-building strategies rest. Students who embrace this approach are not just preparing for a better job, they are preparing for financial independence and control over their own future. Many students believe that earning money only comes from working a part-time job or eventually landing a full-time career after graduation. The problem is that this mindset limits income potential and keeps students trapped in a cycle of trading time for money. Relying solely on hourly wages or a fixed salary means your earning potential is capped by the number of hours you can work. For most students, time is limited, and part-time jobs often pay minimum wage with no opportunities for significant financial growth. This creates a gap between where students are financially and where they want to be. The solution is to identify and build smart income streams, sources of revenue that go beyond just working for a paycheck. Smart income streams include side hustles, freelancing, digital businesses, passive income investments, and leveraging skills that scale over time. For students, this means being proactive in creating opportunities that allow income to grow without requiring proportional increases in time. An example is a student named Alex who studied marketing but realized his part-time job wasn't enough to reach his goals. He started offering social media management services for small businesses while still in school. This side hustle began as a small gig but eventually grew into a recurring source of income. By reinvesting profits into tools and education, Alex scaled his service into a digital agency that now earns far more than a traditional part-time job would allow. The principle here is to work smarter, not harder, by building systems that can generate money without constant active input. Another example comes from online content creation. Many students have skills or passions, whether it's photography, coding, writing, or creating videos. By turning these skills into digital products, online courses, or monetized content, students can create income streams that work for them around the clock. For instance, a student who records tutorials about a skill they've mastered can upload them to platforms like YouTube or Udemy, generating passive revenue long after the initial effort. The billionaire mindset views income as something that can be diversified and multiplied, not confined to a single source. This means students should think beyond the classroom and part-time work, exploring ways to leverage their skills, time, and creativity. It also means understanding that building income streams takes patience and persistence. For example, starting a freelance service or online business requires upfront work and learning, but once established, it can provide ongoing revenue with minimal active involvement. Many successful entrepreneurs began their journeys while still in school by testing ideas, learning from failure, and refining their strategies. This approach transforms how students view earning money. Instead of seeing work as a temporary survival strategy, they see it as a long-term wealth-building process. For students, the challenge is balancing study commitments with building these income streams, but the reward is exponential. While most peers graduate with limited work experience and no financial assets, students who start early can graduate with both valuable skills and multiple sources of income. This sets them on a trajectory far beyond the typical entry-level job path. The shift to this approach requires discipline and vision. Students must be willing to invest their time and energy in building something that will grow in the future, rather than seeking only immediate paychecks. This is how the billionaire mindset transforms earning potential. By turning small intentional efforts today into large, compounding rewards tomorrow, many students fail to realize that saving money alone isn't enough to build wealth. The problem is that traditional advice often focuses solely on cutting expenses and hoarding cash without teaching how to make money grow. While saving is important, if those savings sit idle in a low-interest account, inflation gradually erodes their value over time. This means that even careful savers may find their financial progress slowing down instead of accelerating. For students, this problem is amplified because their incomes are typically smaller and their expenses limited, making it harder to generate significant savings without a clear strategy. The solution is to combine strategic saving with intelligent investing, turning small amounts of capital into larger returns over time. Strategic saving means having a purpose for every dollar saved, while investing means making those savings work for you through assets that grow in value. Students can start with accessible investment options such as index funds, ETFs, or fractional shares. Even a modest amount saved consistently can compound into significant wealth given enough time. An example is a student named Jamal who started saving $50 a week while in college. Instead of leaving that money in a savings account, he invested it into a low-cost index fund. Over 4 years, his savings not only grew through consistent contributions, but also through compound growth, earning returns well above what a typical savings account could offer. This gave him a head start on building wealth before graduation. Another example comes from the idea of saving to invest. Many students fall into the trap of saving without a plan, resulting in money sitting unused for years. By contrast, students who save with the goal of investing develop both discipline and a growth-oriented mindset. For instance, Maria, a business student, decided to save a portion of her part-time job earnings specifically for investing in dividend stocks. This approach not only grew her wealth, but also created a passive income stream that she could reinvest, accelerating her financial growth. The billionaire mindset treats money as a tool rather than a goal. This means understanding the difference between assets and liabilities and prioritizing investments that generate returns over time. For students, this shift means learning about compound interest, risk management, and asset diversification. It also means overcoming the fear of investing early, even with limited funds. The earlier you start, the more powerful compound growth becomes. The challenge for students is balancing saving for short-term needs with investing for long-term growth. Many prioritize immediate comfort or lifestyle spending, missing the opportunity to lay a financial foundation. The key is to develop a system where saving and investing happen automatically. For example, setting up automatic transfers to both a savings account and an investment account can make this process seamless. This not only removes the friction of decision making, but also builds consistent habits. Over time, these habits create a financial advantage that far surpasses sporadic efforts. Students who adopt this approach are not just preparing for emergencies, they are actively building a wealth engine. This transforms their relationship with money from one of scarcity to one of strategic growth. The billionaire mindset understands that financial security comes from creating multiple streams of wealth, starting with disciplined saving and intelligent investing. For students, this approach turns even modest earnings into powerful opportunities for growth and sets the stage for financial independence well before most of their peers. One of the biggest challenges students face is not understanding how to use time and opportunities to their advantage. The problem is that most students treat time as something they have in abundance, without realizing that the way they spend it now shapes their future financial outcomes. Time is the most valuable asset a student has, yet it is often wasted on unproductive activities or short-term gratification rather than long-term growth. This creates a situation where students graduate with no strong financial foundation and limited experience in leveraging opportunities. The solution is learning to leverage time strategically by focusing on activities that have exponential returns in the future. This means making deliberate choices about how you spend your time, prioritizing skill development, networking, and building assets that work for you. For students, leveraging time could involve starting side hustles while studying, building digital assets, or investing time in learning skills that can generate income long after graduation. An example is a student named Liam who recognized that he had two key advantages: time and the ability to learn quickly. Instead of just working part-time, he began dedicating several hours each week to mastering coding and building apps. Within a year, Liam had developed multiple small projects that generated passive income through ads and subscriptions. By the time he graduated, he had not only built an income stream, but also gained a portfolio that gave him a significant competitive advantage in the job market. Another example is how some students use internships and networking to leverage opportunities. Instead of treating internships as short-term work experiences, they approach them as platforms to build relationships, learn business processes, and gain access to future opportunities. For example, a finance student who interns at an investment firm might gain direct exposure to stock analysis, portfolio management, and client relationships, skills and connections that could open doors to higher paying roles or entrepreneurial ventures. The billionaire mindset sees time as a compounding asset similar to money. Just like compound interest grows wealth over time, investing your time in high-value activities compounds your skill set, networks, and income potential. For students, this means making choices that build long-term advantages rather than seeking quick wins. A key part of this is understanding opportunity cost, recognizing that every hour spent has a potential alternative use with a different return. For example, spending hours binge watching shows may bring short-term entertainment, but investing that same time in learning digital marketing or investing can pay off exponentially over years. The challenge is developing the discipline to consistently choose the high-value path, especially when immediate distractions are tempting. The solution is building systems and habits that prioritize time leverage, such as scheduling focused work blocks, setting long-term goals, and tracking progress. Students who do this develop a compounding advantage where every small investment of time now creates a much larger return later. This approach transforms how students view their time, from a disposable resource to their most valuable currency. For those who adopt this strategy early, the rewards are enormous. They graduate with skills, networks, and assets that others spend years trying to acquire. Leveraging time isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter, making strategic decisions, and building momentum that carries forward into every aspect of life. The billionaire mindset treats time not as something to be spent, but as a critical asset to be invested wisely. Many students fail to build wealth because they lack consistent habits that lead to long-term financial growth. The problem is that while students may have ambition and ideas, they often lack a disciplined system to turn those ideas into results. Without daily actions aligned with a financial plan, even the best strategies collapse over time. This results in students graduating with the same financial mindset they had when they started, living paycheck to paycheck, without significant assets or financial independence. The solution is to focus on building long-term wealth habits that compound over years. Habits shape behavior, and consistent financial habits create momentum that can turn small efforts into significant wealth over time. For students, this means establishing systems around saving, investing, skill development, and opportunity seeking. One powerful example is the habit of automated investing. Students who set up automatic transfers from their checking accounts into investment accounts create a system where investing happens without daily decision making. This removes friction and makes wealth building consistent. For example, a student named Amar decided to set aside just $100 every month into an index fund. Over 4 years, this habit built a portfolio worth thousands of dollars before he even graduated. More importantly, it taught him discipline and the power of compounding returns. Another example comes from the habit of continuous learning. Many students underestimate the value of regularly consuming educational content. Students who make a habit of reading financial books, listening to podcasts, or following credible financial creators not only gain knowledge but also internalize a wealth-building mindset. For instance, Emily, a student majoring in economics, dedicated 1 hour every day to reading finance books and attending workshops. Over time, this habit gave her both the confidence and knowledge to start a successful side business while still in college. The billionaire mindset understands that wealth is not built in a single leap, but through consistent, disciplined action over time. It is about creating habits that automatically move you toward financial independence without relying solely on motivation, which can fluctuate. For students, building these habits early is especially powerful because of the time advantage they have. The earlier you develop a disciplined system, the more those habits compound into life-changing results. Another important habit is networking and surrounding yourself with like-minded people. Students who regularly connect with ambitious peers, mentors, or professionals create an environment that reinforces growth. This can lead to opportunities for collaborations, partnerships, and access to resources that would otherwise be unavailable. For example, a student who regularly attends industry events or joins a finance club may discover internships, investment opportunities, or business ideas that accelerate their financial journey. The challenge is building habits in an environment filled with distractions. Social life, entertainment, and academic pressure often pull attention away from financial consistency. The solution is to integrate habits into daily routines in a way that makes them effortless and rewarding. This might mean setting up automatic savings, dedicating fixed time slots for skill development, or creating accountability systems with peers. Students who do this don't just build wealth, they build resilience and adaptability. Over time, these habits become second nature, forming the foundation of a billionaire mindset. The difference between students who struggle financially and those who build wealth is often not a matter of intelligence or resources, but of disciplined habits that compound over years. By focusing on building and maintaining these habits early, students can create a system that steadily transforms their financial life and sets them on a fast track to wealth in 25 and beyond. Today, we explored how students can shift from a broke mindset to a billionaire mindset by focusing on 6 powerful principles. First, understanding the billionaire mindset helps transform how you view money and opportunities. Second, early financial education builds the knowledge to make smarter decisions. Third, creating smart income streams turns limited time into unlimited potential. Fourth, strategic saving and investing allow even small amounts to grow exponentially. Fifth, leveraging time and opportunities gives students a huge advantage before graduation. And sixth, building long-term wealth habits compounds progress over years. These steps aren't just about earning more, they're about creating systems, changing your perspective, and taking consistent action. For students, adopting these strategies now can fast-track financial freedom and set a foundation for lifelong wealth growth. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment sharing your biggest takeaway.